I'm Nick Robert Gallo, a lifelong hockey guy. I coached and scouted some of the best young hockey players in North America over the past 10 years. These days, I live my best life as a big-mouth, diehard LA Kings fan. Welcome to Holding Court. Holding Court is brought to you by Gallo Real Estate. Buying or selling a home in Southern California? It would be my pleasure helping you in your next real estate endeavor. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another Holding Court video. It's been a while. So the plan last year was I watched every second of the 2021 World Junior Tournament.
Oh,
I had a very thorough evaluation. I recorded a video, and we ended up buying a house at that time, so my Holding Court video got put on the back burner, and I never had time to sit down and edit it. So, being that now the 2022 World Juniors has, as of an hour or so ago, been canceled, I figure I might as well bust out the old 2021 notes and at least let you fucking bitch.
You can do
and
it!
at least let fucking I figured I'd at least bust out my 2021 World Junior notes and at least let you guys know my top 10. I'm gonna go through these pretty quick because I want to get around to absolutely shitting on the IIHF for this year's cancellation. So I'm gonna kind of breeze through these. I also don't have all my thorough notes from a year ago on this tournament, so bear with me here. So my first honorable mention was the hulking forward from Sweden and Detroit Red Wing pick, go figure, Elmer Soderblom. Huge guy and super skilled. I was noticing him out there a lot, and the fact that he didn't even make my top 10 performers list and as an honorable mention says a lot about the top 10. My other honorable mention was the highly touted goalie, Nashville Predators pick, Yaroslav Askarov. Anytime there's a goalie drafted so high, I get excited because I typically think that's a bad decision. Askarov came in with a ton of pressure, and there were times it looked like it was getting to him, but then there were times where you saw the talent and why he was such a highly touted goalie. So he cracks my honorable mentions. Now, to get into the top 10. At the time, he wasn't even drafted yet. This was his World Junior leading up to his draft. But the American forward Matty Beniers, Seattle Kraken draft pick. As one of the younger guys on the team, he pretty much had no business being as good as he was. So, yeah, he just kind of had star potential written all over him. Number 9, LA Kings. From Finland, KASPER SIMONTAIVAL. Basically, he just showed he has outstanding offensive ability throughout the tournament. He was constantly making shit happen. Really liked him a lot, so I had him at 9. Number 8, Toronto Maple Leafs. Highly touted, highly skilled forward, RODION AMIROV. This guy just showed a ton of skill all throughout the tournament. Was one of my favorite players on Russia. Number 7, another Russian. This is a Carolina Hurricanes pick, Vasily Ponomarev. One of the better players on Russia. You know, they always have such a talented team, and he was kind of the cream rising to the crop as far as talent goes. So I had to throw him on the list, and at a pretty good spot too. Number 6, the 16-year-old from Finland, Brad Lambert. Not only was he not drafted by the World Juniors, he wasn't even eligible for the following draft. He's eligible for this coming draft, and there's a lot of talk about him kind of dropping a little bit. Whatever. I think whoever grabs him in this draft is grabbing a future star, possibly superstar. The amount of plays this kid was making as a 16-year-old on Finland is kind of ridiculous, so I had him at 6. Number 5 was a guy I was very hard on, hard on. At number 5 was a guy I was tough on because he had a really, really bad stinker of a game, Spencer Knight. He had one really bad game where it was just, he looked horrendous. And his bounce back was incredible. And then he, countered with some just unbelievable games and really started to show, okay, why he is a highly touted goalie. Florida Panthers pick, by the way, Spencer Knight. Yeah, I got him all the way at 5. That's how strong I feel like his bounce back was. Number 4, another goalie,
DEVON
LEVI. This guy, I have him even above Spencer Knight, above Askarov. I just thought he was the best, for me, the best goaltender in the 2021 World Juniors. Number 3, from the Ottawa Senators, Tim Stützle. Just absolutely incredible. He really did, in this tournament, live up to the hype for me. Totally did. And I've been a little bit reserved to, anoint Tim Stützle a future Hall of Famer like a lot of people, but boy, he really lived up to it in this tournament. So I have him all the way at number 3. And speaking of Stützle, people are going to want to hear about BYFIELD. Well, BYFIELD had one really good game where he balled out. He's on Team Canada. He balled out against, I believe, Switzerland or Austria, which I hate to break it to you guys, that's not very noteworthy. If you're on a powerhouse team like Canada and you ball out against a team that's just so many levels under you, that's not something to write home about. It's just not. So I took that with a major grain of salt. And outside of that game, BYFIELD was relatively unnoticeable. Now, he wasn't getting a ton of opportunities, but as a second overall pick, that was a little bit concerning, a little bit strange. So that was BYFIELD's tournament for me. At number 2, and in many other years, this guy would be my far and away best player of the tournament. But this was just such a, stacked tournament. And number 1 was just so insane. But Dylan Cozens. There you go, Buffalo Sabres fans. I know it's been dark, but Dylan Cozens is just going to be an absolute stud. I mean, with all of the talent I've mentioned in this tournament, this guy was one of 2, in my opinion, that just really, really just stood above everyone else. Number 1, he's already making headlines and waves in the NHL. From Team USA and the Anaheim Ducks, Trevor Zegras. He was almost toying with the competition at times. Like that was how much better he was than a lot of the opposition. Absolutely, I put Trevor Zegras as my number 1 top performer. Just the guy who kind of blew my mind the most. It was just so good this tournament. It was insane. I guess perhaps an honorable mention I would like to tack on. An LA Kings pick. They picked him after this tournament. Samuel Helenius. This guy reminded me a little bit of Soderblom, not as good, but just a really big kid. He was relatively agile for his size and also showed some really good skill. So this was a guy that really caught my eye in the tournament, and I was really happy to see that the Kings picked him. Moving on to the 2022 World Junior Tournament. So the IIHF started its blunders by not postponing, not rescheduling, not trying to work diligently around a solution for the women's tournament, but to just straight up cancel it. Just, sorry about it. You would think that the IIHF would work a little bit harder and maybe take it a little more seriously to make sure that these athletes who work their whole lives for this moment get their chance. That's kind of their job. So when they canceled the women's tournament, people really lost their shit, and rightfully so. I mean, people were asking at least reschedule, at least postpone.
Hell no, to the no, hell to the no.
So that was already starting off on the wrong foot. Then the men's World Junior Tournament gets started. And it seemed to be going okay. There was a lot of talk about canceling and, the testing of asymptomatic players, which the writing was on the wall. That's a horrible idea. It's a stupid idea. And it was surely would end up spelling the end of the tournament. So eventually, USA has to forfeit a game because they have 2 players test positive. So they forfeit a game, which I believe was against Switzerland, and almost a sure in the bag win, and USA had to forfeit. That got a lot of people's attention. They had no idea what was in store next, because right after that, Then Russia had one player test positive and they were forced to forfeit. So the stupidity continued. Ready for the next part? They canceled the entire tournament. No talk of postponing. And you know what? As many of us want them to postpone or reschedule, at the end of the day, if young, in-shape athletes testing positive for a fucking flu, the cold, if this is the shit that gets the tournament canceled, we might as well kick it back a jillion years. It makes no difference because there's always going to be people testing positive for seasonal flu, for example. You know for sure this is political. They're just kind of following very powerful people orders, and none of it makes sense. It's not supposed to. We're all just supposed to kind of accept it and, watch a bunch of young athletes get fucked over again, as has been the case throughout this whole pandemic. So, what a joke. I hope something gets done about this, but I'm not optimistic. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Have a good one.